"It's about power," Richard said to himself. And yet there he stood, powerless and immobile, staring at the door to the men's bathroom. His bladder was backed up so far, it felt like his back teeth were floating. But he couldn't bring himself to push open the door and confront what awaited him on the other side. He glanced down at his watch. If he was going to go, he had to go now, or the bell would ring and he'd be late for class. He knew there was no way he could hold it until he got home. Even so, he nearly took his chances and walked away, but the thought of soiling himself before his peers, at the age of 15 no less, was unthinkable. A rational decision. Shame trumped fear. He pushed open the door and stepped inside. A moment of panic was followed by relief. The bathroom was empty and the walls were white, not red. After only a moment's hesitation, he ran to the urinal and unzipped his slacks. As the pressure eased, clarity returned. "It's about power," he repeated. "Power of the rational mind over the irrational." He wondered briefly if that attitude made him cold, but that was an irrational thought. After all, the alternative to reason was chaos, emotional turbulence, and he'd experienced enough of the latter to be a champion of the former. He zipped up his slacks and walked over to the sink. But when he touched the faucet handle, it was sticky, and he jerked his hand away. He looked down, and the sink was coated in a dry, brown fluid. But that's impossible, he thought. It should only be sticky when it's fresh. He knew he would see it if he turned around, knew how badly he didn't want to see it, but he was too much. The scientist raised his eyes, looked into the mirror. The wall behind him was spattered with a patchwork of reds and browns, some dried and still, some moving and pooling hypnotically. From behind him, below the point of view the mirror gave him, he heard a throaty gurgle. He turned, knelt down, and there the figure was, slumped against the back wall, shaking. Dressed like him in a pair of slacks and a button-up shirt. Scars crisscrossed the inside of both wrists, and a gaping wound lay across his throat. He raised a trembling hand, reached toward Richard. Their eyes met, and each boy stared into his own face. Both of the Richards shut their eyes.